Alrighty, joining us on the blower now, we've got Damon Murphy, Super Rugby referee. How you doing, Damon?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Living the dream, Damon. So first off, obviously we wanted to get you on just to nitpick a few rules in regards to World Rugby, but apparently you've got to bury the hatchet with Ryan Freeney over there before we go any further.
It's not me, mate. It's all referees around the world.
Mate, after Dad has a couple of
He's the one
runs,
that
he
issue
like,
apologise to the world.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Damon. I'm sorry, everyone.
What are you sorry for?
I'm sorry for being a grub. I'm sorry.
Finally,
But
look at honesty.
To my defence,
Oh, here
Damon,
we go, mate. You were so well.
you were no angel. You were no angel. We
A little chirpy back there.
yeah, a little bit chirpy. It was good. How do you deal with chirpy players these days?
You've
Do you cop
deflected
it
from
much?
you. Okay.
Yeah, that was very well done.
You like that?
Mate, it's play on, isn't it? So I think everyone gets a little bit emotional. Everyone gets a little bit hyped up in the field. So, yeah, mate, it's part of the game. So it is.
There's nothing
You
better
were
though.
different, Ryan. You were
Hey?
different, mate. You were off the field too.
Yeah, I was a bit full on, mate. Mate, but yeah, it was pretty awesome seeing that transition. Just like you could just see Damon just in the ref's face, and then all of a sudden he's got a whistle in his hand. Like, what's going on here? It's like a glitch in the Matrix. It was awesome.
Dame,
Very good.
Hey, mate, I haven't seen you the last couple of weeks. Is something going on? You injured or?
Yeah, mate, there is a little bit going on. I've somehow torn my calf, so I have. So,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but apparently did it 3 weeks ago. So I got like an 8 centimetre tear in my calf. Yeah, I don't know when I did it. I just had a scan and it just came up with my calf was a bit sore.
So how long are you out of action for?
They reckon 8 weeks.
Oh, shit.
8 weeks.
I did my calf playing touch against Issy on the beach. It's not fun. I've never blown a calf, but I did it that day, and it is not fun at all. I feel for you, man.
You never really think about it either, the idea that referees can get injured too, especially before finals time. Why
Yeah.
isn't this in the papers?
Pretty embarrassing. I think that's I've been hiding about it, so I don't really want to be public, but it's now public, so
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
Your guys' fitness is actually quite grueling, isn't it? Like, I remember going down to Ballymore one day and seeing the refs actually teeing
Training.
off. Like, they
Were you
proper
hurling abuse at them?
yeah, he was doing his training.
Mate, I was never really lippy. I was just getting sent off.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, it was a bit of both. Mate, you know what was funny, though? We're watching before a game.
Question.
I don't know what was. Before a game, this is no shit. LV actually put a formal complaint in. The refs and the two touch judges were talking. It was against brothers as well, Jeet's first brothers. And the ref dead set said, yeah, just watch 2 green. His preconceived ideas is disgusting, you know what I mean? I was a good bloke.
mate, they're not preconceived, mate.
Yeah. It's just cold, hard, proven fact.
It's your
Mate,
own.
they were walking from the car park and got yelled at.
My dad, God damn it.
Well, Damon, we'll get to some actual legitimate questions now because, I mean, you would obviously be well aware, being a World Rugby referee, that there are edicts coming down from World Rugby in regards to specific things. We've obviously seen the high contact, the dangerous play, and now the involvement of the TMO being able to get into the decisions. I personally say we need to get the TMO out of the game. I'd be happy for them just to leave it up to you and your crew to do it out there, but does it get frustrating knowing that you guys are obviously out there just adjudicating to the laws set down from World Rugby, yet there is so much conjecture from like the media and punters themselves in regards to how the game, especially in Australia, is sort of policed at the moment?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, mate. I think the first thing, I don't think we do a good enough job in Australia educating the public about the laws, about the law changes, and about everything that's going on. Like you go up north and you watch a game of rugby, like a test match or a game of rugby, and like the supporters are so well educated and so all over all the new law changes and what's a red card, what's a yellow card. I think in the Southern Hemisphere, particularly in Australia, I mean, we're competing against 3 other sports codes as well, and I just think that at times because there's so much rugby going on and so many different codes, it's hard for everyone to keep across all the different intricacies, and I think that's probably one thing is we're just probably a little bit like less educated about what's going on. But then in saying that, like, I mean, I think all the time what people are trying to do is trying to get that perfect kind of, I guess, mix of, when does the TMO come in? Do we get the right decision? What's more important? Is the right decision more important than the TMO coming in, or do we just live with, the referees making mistakes? And I don't think anyone's found the perfect formula yet. I think it's trial and error. I think the other thing too, mate, is what people don't understand is a lot of the TMOs and even ARs, like, not everyone's fully professional yet, especially in Australia and I guess in the southern hemisphere. Like, you got TMOs and touch judges that are doing this, as a weekend hobby, and I think that also plays a part. I think that to get a fully professional environment, you probably need everyone in some type of part-time or full-time role so they can apply to their craft or apply to their trade to to help build, I guess, repetition, seeing pictures working together and stuff. Sometimes we fly over to New Zealand or to another country and you meet a guy for the first time. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. I think people think that, like, everyone's full-time, everyone's professional, but a lot of these guys are actually giving up some of their free time to actually participate in these games.
Right. Do you think if there was, I guess, more investment into developing referees, obviously here and in New Zealand, there'd be a lot more people willing to put that time in? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess, like, the hard thing, mate, is like there's probably less spots available too. So I guess, like, you think about, like, there's only 6 professional referees in Australia, and one of them's probably not even full time. So there's 5. Sorry, 2 of them aren't. So there's only 4 or 5 full time referees. So I guess, like, if you're trying to attract, Ryan Freeney from Jeeps Rugby Club, he's got to then start at the bottom, right, and work his way up. There is no kind of, like, I guess, pathway where we can bring him in on 40 or 50 grand, train him up, and bring him in. So I think that's the issue as well. There is no kind of, like, thing, and there is only 4 or 5 spots, and those 4 or 5 spots don't come up regularly, if that makes sense. Like, you've got guys going, they're going well. Like, it's a pretty hard kind of train to kind of get on.
Yeah.
I think Freeney's proven he's happy to referee from the sideline for free, actually, Damon.
I actually got asked by one of the referees, I don't know which one it was, he's like, why don't you, we're looking for more front row guys, ex-front rowers to referee. I was like, mate, there'd be a lot being let slide, like, I'm a referee. On refereeing though, Damon, like, what's the sort of process after a game? Do you guys have, like, of course, in the heat of the battle, you get things wrong sometimes, but is there, like, a process with, like, reviewing and stuff like that as well that you guys go through?
Definitely, mate. So basically the way it kind of works is I'll referee a game Saturday, and then I'll be required to do my kind of self-review and then a review with my coach. And so my, like, I guess, coach / boss is Mitch Chapman, who probably everyone's aware of. He kind of runs the referee program here in Australia now. So we'll sit down and watch the game, and then what I've got to do is I've got to clip all the penalties that were refereed in the game, everything I think I got wrong, and then other things I might have picked up throughout the game that might be a trend. Say, like, one team might be, like, deliberately trying to slow the game down or diving off their feet and stuff. And then what I do is I clip all that up, put it into a package, and actually send that to each coach. And then each coach gets that package, they review it, and then they'll send back their clips and go, well, we think, can we ask you questions, or we think you might have got this wrong. And then by the time I get that package, it's probably, like, the whole review is probably, squared away by, like, a Wednesday that next week.
That's
good accountability.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a hectic process.
Particularly one area I think's it's a bit of a grey area still is the ruck. Like, how hard is that to police and to stop obviously over policing the game? Like, is it quite difficult with all these new laws and stuff? Because it's quite hard, obviously, to clear someone out at full ball when someone's jackling the ball and try not to hit a head and all that sort of stuff. Is it quite, hard?
Oh, mate, I think so. I think, and they say this all the time, but like people don't realise, like, and I don't know exact statistics, but like there's something crazy like 286 to 300 rucks a game or something like that, right? And you think about like what people don't understand is like I might go out and referee and blow 20 penalties, but I've actually made like 286 to 300 decisions at every breakdown not to blow or to blow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of decisions to be made. And mate, there'll be stuff depending on the game and where the game ends up. Like there'll be stuff that I let go that on review, you guys might have seen on review. I go, look, I got this wrong, yada yada yada, or I might have let it go. And then one of the coaches picks up and go, why didn't you penalise this? So it's kind of like a tough juggling act. It's like it's never going to be 100% accurate. You're never going to be perfect. And I think that's the hard thing. But I think from a spectator point of view, what like the punter wants is, I guess they want a bit of clarity on kind of the big moments, I guess, and I guess accuracy in those big moments. And that's probably what differentiates, a guy doing Super Rugby or Test Rugby to a guy doing, down third or second grade or primary grade.
It's quite hard though, some of those decisions, especially in slow-mo, everything looks pretty bad in rugby.
You slow down every tackle down. There's head contact or an elbow or someone's fingers going across someone's eye or something like that, mate. There's hundreds of things you see on review that aren't picked up.
Hey, Dame, mate, just quickly, we've talked a lot about new squads leading into the World Cup next year. Obviously, a very big year for a referee. Is the World Cup, I guess, will be something that you'd love to be a part of. I guess for the Australian referees and that contingency there, is there like a selection process? Does it go through formalities? I'm assuming are you all going? Like how many of you get to go? And
so, mate, I don't know so normally the last World Cup they took 12 referees, I think it was, and 7 assistant referees, and then I think it was 4 TMOs. So, and those guys officiate the tournament. Basically, what happens is like everyone kind of knows where you sit into the lead up to it, I guess. So like if you're not doing tier 1 tests, so that's like the the big kind of like the Rugby Championship, the Autumn's Cup, all that type of stuff, like Six Nations and stuff. Probably a couple of years out from the World Cup, you're probably not going to be in the mix, I guess, if that makes sense. But basically the process would be you do Premier Grade, and then from Premier Grade you might get an opportunity to start running touch Super Rugby. If things go well, you might get a Super Rugby debut. If things go well there, then World Rugby come knocking and they might give you a couple of like low-level test matches. If that goes well, then you move up to like the bigger stuff to eventually you start doing like the pinnacle of the game, which would be like a Bledisloe Cup or a Six Nations game or something like that. And once you're kind of in that runner, then you're probably going to be looked at to go to the World Cup. But I don't think it's never really kind of guaranteed. But that's kind of the process, I guess, from a kind of simplified version.
I got to ask as well, Damon. So, just like any footy player, you always look at someone who might make a team ahead of you and think, "Oh, mate, I'm better than him. He's dog ass. He's shit ass." Does that happen in refs? So you look at like Matthew Raynal and you're like, "Who the hell is this son of a bitch? This dude sucks, mate. He can suck like 3 beanbag."
But I think there's a lot more. Well, from our point of view, like I know, the guys I hang out every day, like Geordie Wade, Nick Berry, and Mitch. I think there's a lot more empathy. Like I watch guys referee the game, and I can actually understand why they might have got something wrong or whatever it is. So it's just so subjective. Like you like no one. You all see it like on social media platforms everywhere like that. Like people hate certain referees because their teams lost under them, but they might not have refereed well. So I think the whole game's subjective, mate. And from my point of view, it's kind of like you're probably more empathetic than kind of going, he sucks or whatever it is. It's more kind of like I can understand why he got that wrong or why he did that, or from that point of view.
All right, leave it to us. We'll start wide-handing for you. Don't worry, man. We'll start a campaign. You'll be at Rugby World Cup.
I'll get Dad a bottle of rum and just tell him to rinse him on the
Damon, big fat Dars here, mate.
Hold on. Have you guys buried the hatchet?
I was going to say...
I said sorry.
No, big fat
Hey.
Dars.
Oh, what happened?
Is it true that you used to bully big fat Dars?
I reckon you would have.
I didn't bully him. I used to beat him up.
So bullying and beating up's different.
That's why I started eating. Okay. Anyway, there's that really, really true saying that is those that can't play should ref. And this one's for J-Ball. What do you think J-Ball's strengths and weaknesses could be as a referee? like strength,
Let's go.
fitness?
Strength,
Out of
fitness.
10, out of 10,
Like
fitness.
loudness of voice?
Yeah. I think he's probably would be able to articulate well, so it'd be a
Okay.
strength.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's the key to refereeing is being able to articulate your decisions. I reckon he could make things up on the spot too, which always helps when you're under pressure.
It's good. I can't do that. Yep.
Look, I don't
No,
think
no
fitness
real
is a
weaknesses to speak of, I assume.
The white shirt wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be flattering.
No,
the
no,
white
no.
shirt.
The tummy would just...
Yeah, it'd be so
Look like you'd
good.
be smuggling a wok
I've
under
seen blokes in earth shape referee, important games and J-ball, so I don't think fitness would be an issue. Last, you might be honest, something here. It could be a complete package.
There we go.
There we go.
Pair of career savers, mate. You're on.
Hell yeah.
We'll get him a uniform. We'll get him down to a 5th grade game and see how he goes and can videotape it.
With one of those OPSM things
Yeah.
on the back. Like, where's your glasses, mate?
I kind of, it interests me, but I don't
What?
want to do it because I've hung so much shit on referees in my
mate.
time.
It's
That
a thankless job. Damon, he's case in point. He literally is gone to 180. He's gone the other side.
well, that's it. I mean, they all say Damon, he's only been reffing for a few years now, but you've actually been reffing for about 15, 20 years your entire playing career, Damon. You're one of the most experienced refs going around in world rugby at the moment.
Yeah. That's what it proved, mate. It proved I've been right for 15 years.
That'll change the attitude.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, Damon, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We really appreciate your time and all the best with your calf, man. Hopefully you can get back up and running soon.
Yeah, too easy, boys. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, brother.
Damon.
Appreciate
Sorry,
it. Round of
once
applause
again,
for
I'm
Damon
sorry.
Murphy, everybody.
Jeez, I hate
I feel
referees,
real
though.
bad
Huh?
for refs
Fucking
now,
refs.
man.
Fucking
Shit.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.